and then somebody looks at the amount of time they spend making that design. They're like, why are you charging me $100? You spend 10 minutes making it.
You're not paying
for 10 minutes.
You're paying for all those hours.
When I was watching the way you approach music, it reminded me of that concept because you seem to move fast from idea to end product. How in the world do you do that? Do you now have a recipe for the kota?
Nah, man, I need to eat kota. I ate kota from Randburg, and I'm told that's some bougie kota. You know, I need to eat the real kota.
Randburg can't make kotas, guys. Ladies and gents, music lovers and friends, welcome to the 9th episode of the Landmark Show. As you can see, I'm joined on my right-hand side by a mystery man. His name is Kevin Provoke, one of East Africa's most celebrated producers and engineers. In my view, one of the most prolific musicians I've ever come across. So, Kevin, say what's up to the people. How you feeling?
I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm just happy to see you. Man.
Oh, dog, I'm happy.
We've worked together for many years, and we've never met in person. This is the first time we're meeting.
Yeah, and which is dope.
Yeah, it's dope.
First impressions of Johannesburg, first impressions of the lay of the land. You arrived on a very cold day. It was extremely cold.
It's okay. I love the cold than the hot weather.
Yeah.
You can control the cold weather. You can't control the
heat.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
You can't undress.
You can't undress.
At least when it's cold, you can put some layers.
Yeah.
But if it's too hot, you can't take your skin off.
True. That's what's up.
No, glad to have you, man. I was watching you work the other day when we were putting together some music. One of the thoughts that came to my mind was this concept of rapid prototyping, right? Rapid prototyping is something that happens when people conceive an idea and they build a 3D model of the idea to test if that thing is going to work in real life, you know? Yeah. When I was watching the way you approach music, it reminded me of that concept because you seem to move fast from idea to end product. How in the world do you do that? Because it's almost as if there's like a third or fourth or fifth sense that you are able to detect whether this is going to work or not. Like, how does one develop that?
First of all, it starts with experience, and the experience I have is a 21-year-old experience. I'm a 21-year-old. I'm a 3-year-old guy with a 21-year-old experience.
Dang. So it's all when you say 3-year-old, okay, I 3-year-old with 21, I need to recollect with that.
You know those job applications.
Yeah, I see that.
I have so much experience with the job itself.
Yeah. No, I see that.
Yeah, I've done this for a long time. And I've recorded so many artists differently, and from the past, it's been always work as fast as possible and efficiently as possible.
Right.
That's the motto we have lived with in Nairobi. So. Those days we didn't have so many studios. So if you're given studio time, you need to use that studio time wisely. So what do? You get into the studio with an artist. You have to create a beat. You have to record. If you're lucky, you need to mix and master that song and come out with the song.
Full product by the end of the
not one. You have to do many, so that you're not given the studio time again in 6 months. Because the studio is so busy. There are very few studios and they are very busy. So we make them work as fast as possible.
So that means obviously it's a skill that's been refined because of having small time, small resources, but having to do a lot with as much as you can with little time available. Do you approach the I'll call it the post-production? So if this is how you create, do you use the same methodology in terms of being quick to finish?
Yes, I can be quick depending on how I feel about the song. If it's a song I feel I really need to put a lot of work in, that's not that putting a lot of work means the product is better than the one I'll do first. It's just there's something I want to get out of that song.
Right.
So sometimes I can take long. But if it comes to let me say like mixing and mastering a song, maximum an hour to give it another 2 hours maybe to listen to it in different environments and done.
But now, one thing that as I'm listening to you, I'm now beginning to wonder whether there is a difference between the technical side of music and the emotional side of music.
Yeah.
Do you have emotional connections in your?
I have to have emotional connection in the song. That is 100%. I really take that seriously because as much as it's technical, I've noticed a lot of times when you mix and master a song, maybe for an artist,
Yeah.
you'll do something in that song and be like, no, remove that reverb there.
Yeah.
And in real sense, that reverb, when I was listening to the song, that reverb, I put it there intentionally because of a certain thing that was said or happened in that song at that moment.
Okay.
So even mixing and mastering technically sometimes has to be connected emotionally, so that even when someone is listening to it, they're like, yo, why do I feel like this song, something is happening, that type of thing has to happen. You have to be able to connect technically and emotionally and doing this thing.
Okay. Do you then have a policy to say, unless, where do you divide between doing something because you have to, because it's been requested of you, and doing something because you pretty much enjoy it? A lot of artists and musicians have this love and hate relationship with what they do, because sometimes you have the skills, the ability, the experience to do it, but you don't feel it. Do you have a policy where you like, nah, like make it dope so I can? Okay, I'll tell you me, right? My approach is that I want to like what I'm doing.
You have to.
I want to, every time someone says, yo, dog, I got a feature, I'm like, if I like it, you can almost guarantee that I'll be on it. But I'm not going to do it if I'm...
I usually have these situations where an artist approaches me like, yo, how much do you charge for a track? How much can you charge me for this and this? If I do not feel that artist, I'm sorry guys. If guys are watching this from Kenya, just so that you know right now, I will give you a price that you can't afford, so that I don't do that job instead of telling you no.
Okay. It's a way that you govern. Yeah, you kind of say, the price is too high, basically.
The price is too high. So
because in any case,
if you can afford that price, then I'll put my time in. If you can't, then I can't put my time.
No, but I can see that policy, because just like you give a price that's too high to afford, it will cost you a lot to invest your time.
It's your emotion.
Exactly.
To gel it into what the other person is doing that I maybe don't like. So I have to like it. So it will cost you for me to like it.
Nah, I think it's a safeguard. It's a dope safeguard of how to approach it, man. All right, cool. Well, that's on the music side, man. Kevin, in the journey of life, right? A lot of us, when we grow up, like we kind of stumble along the way to try and find our path. It takes time to find our way, How did Kevin find his way?
The thing is, why are you doing this? That's the whole question about anything that I do. Why am I doing it? I always have that.
Okay, so you get it.
Even if I think you know Robert and all. When we talk about anything with Robert, who's one third of Mojo Sounds as well.
Right.
Is why are we doing this?
Okay.
Why are we doing it? Robert is not a musician, but he understands music in a very different dimension. Which is interesting.
Okay.
So we always have these discussions, and I tell him this is the only thing I know how to do well. This is the only thing I know how to do well. I don't know how to be a lawyer. I don't know how to be a doctor. So this is the only path I have, and me taking this path means that it's my life. It's not something I am trying to do so that when later I get something else to do, I jump out. No. We're in the train, whether it has fire, crocodile, lizard, dogs.
You are in your coach,
in the train. We are staying in the train. No one is leaving. That's how it is. So doing this, that's how I found myself like that, because where I'm from Eastlands of Nairobi. Eastlands of Nairobi is known so much because of just people being creative in what they're doing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's how it's known. Not that the other areas don't have creatives. They're there, but most of them come from Eastlands. They either lived in Eastlands or are born in Eastlands.
Okay.
And being in Eastlands, there's a high percent you can be either a thug or is it matatu touts?
Taxi driver.
You call it taxi. Either a driver or at the door. Usually
Ah, yes, the one who collects and who calls people to come on to them.
Or you just become something else, something else that is weird in the society.
Okay.
So a lot of guys get creative in that area so that they don't become that.
Okay.
My situation was different a bit because I was not really from the lower class. I was from the middle lower class.
Yeah.
Near the middle class.
Somewhere towards the middle.
Yeah. And I have 4 brothers. All of us, we've gotten to a point where we have slept hungry. And we know how it feels to sleep hungry. We know how it feels. And all of us, everyone does a different thing.
Okay.
No one does the same thing. So that's where I'm from. I had to find myself. I had to get something to do that is creative. That's something I know how to
That's embedded in you also.
Yeah.
That's also easy to do. That comes
Totally easy.
Oh yeah, it's not. You certainly make it look like it. Oh, I mean, the efficiency, as I said, the rapid clicking from idea to
practice
feel
this
like,
for so
what
long.
the hell,
It looks easy on anyone sees it and feels like it looks easy.
Okay.
When you do it for so long.
I have to stop you here because I have to understand this. Do you believe in inspiration?
Yeah.
Do you have to be inspired to create something? And I'm talking you specifically.
Yeah.
The way in which
I'm very, very
'cause
big
you
on
seem
energy.
Huh?
On energy.
On energy.
Yeah.
Is that
Energy
an
in the
important-
room.
Okay.
That's what I feed on.
So you've been in rooms where your skills could not compensate for lack of inspiration?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not just press this button.
It looks like it, dog. The way you go about it, I'm like, this guy can.
It's the energy in the room, bro. It's the energy, the energy we find in the room.
Okay.
If you've noticed, most of the sessions may take long to start.
Yeah.
It's because we're having that connection of understanding how do you think and how do I think.
Okay.
Such types of situations, I think, and then if you've noticed, a lot of times when after that conversation, it's very easy to go from point A to B.
Oh, okay.
That is the energy
That's the energy.
feed off.
That's dope, man. It's surgical. It's really, really fast. Coming back to Umoja Sounds, I mean, for me, as a Southern African, by the way, Kenya, if you guys don't celebrate Provoke, we might just poach him from you guys. Anyway, Umoja Sounds. Let's come back to Umoja Sounds.
Yeah.
Why Umoja Sounds? Like, why was that important to do? With the access to the beautiful thing about South Africa is that each part of Africa, culturally and musically, there's some very unique, distinctly unique contributions we bring to music in general. Is that what Umoja is about? To go and get these nuanced, very special sounds from the corners of Africa?
The thing is, Umoja sounds. So Umoja means a different thing here.
Yeah.
But it means unity.
Umoja.
In Swahili, it's unity.
Okay.
So that's unity sounds.
Okay. So
how does that work? It's the same thing you've said. We are literally connected by sound, all of us. We have different sounds, but we're connected by it. How do we merge these sounds and just meet somewhere? So that's where we are. We are the meeting.
Yeah.
We are that central point where everything is connected.
Yeah, man.
If you look at Umoja Sounds, there's someone from Tanzania, there's someone from Uganda, there's someone from Kenya. These guys, there's different producers we work with also from different countries like Burundi, guys from Rwanda. We work from. Now we're getting guys from SA. It's just something that we continuously grow. Also, it's not. Umoja Sound is not me or the members that are present right now. It's bigger than us.
Bigger than that, man. No, man, I think it definitely gives me hope that we, over some time, would get to a place where Africa defines herself sonically in terms of how the world needs to appreciate or Africa in general, right? And I say that because typically you find that a concept like Umoja Sound will come from, let's say, someone from Eastern or Western Europe and say, hey, I like the sounds that you guys have, come, let's create something. There's so many historical events like that have happened where someone from somewhere. So it's pretty dope to see that finally. I'm sure there's many other movements like Umoja Sounds. I'm not saying that this is novel, but here is a way that you can participate in describing the narrative for Africa in its best stance to the world. So so it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be really dope. I want to move to another point, potentially our second last point, and for me, it's the aspect of putting in the work, right? Is it important to you, Kevin, to put in hours in what you do, and how do you reconcile, okay, the amount of time that you spend doing something and the rewards? You know, what is your perspective around hard work? Do you think it's something that's necessary?
Hard work is important, very, very important. But that hard work has to be coupled with working smart.
Okay.
Makes sense, yeah? So how do I reconcile that? I reconcile that with the results in terms of I'd rather not do something that is not worth time and my hard work and stay at home and sleep than do something that is not worth my time and hard work.
Because it's an investment, right?
It's an investment. Time is an investment. I'd rather invest that time sleeping.
Yeah, it's probably better.
Yeah, I'd rather invest that time sleeping. But if I invest that time, I'd love to get results that are worth that time.
The time spent.
Yeah, so it's not, a lot of times people say time is money, but no, may say time is what is the results. Not necessarily money, the results that you're getting. If you're going to cook and you're cooking for hours, you expect that food to be nice. The results have to be nice.
So okay. So there is no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute. There's no shortcut.
That's why you're looking at me doing what I'm doing. It looks easy. Those are results of hard work.
Results of hard work.
It's for so long.
Reminds me of that concept of graphic design. You know, it's a very common analogy. They say a graphic designer can charge, let's say, $100 for a design, and then somebody looks at the amount of time they spend making that design. They're like, "Why are you charging me $100? You spend 10 minutes making it.
You're not paying.
You're not paying for 10 minutes.
You're paying for all those hours that I've used practicing to do it in this short time."
No. There's no substitute for hard work. You got to put in those hours. You got to put in that work. That work counts for something. Is there anything that you heard, you know, whether before you came and when you arrived, that you thought, "Damn, this is impressive," or this is dope"? You are a difficult man to impress because of 20 years. So I'm just curious, if you picked up something, you're like, "Whoa, what the hell?"
This is what I haven't heard this. This is how I look at music every day. When I record a new song, it's something in my heart. When I press record and we finish recording that song, I'm impressed. If I don't press record and I stop, I'm not impressed yet. It's a process.
That's a philosophy. That is a okay. I see it now. I see it now. So that means, Kevin, you are not the type to, you know, back in the days we used to hear, they would say at a record label, an artist will record like 15 or 20 tracks.
Yeah.
And then eventually only 5 will get released because the others, you know, were they were being done for the sake of being done.
Yeah.
So it looks like, if I get you correctly, if you've invested time and effort in pressing that record, then you have an intention for the world to hear that.
Intention, okay. I am very intentional with anything I do and everything I do. Very, very intentional.
All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to ask Kevin about the future of Umoja Sounds and in general, where's the next pit stop and whether South Africa can expect another round of Umoja Sounds in the next year or 6 months. Kevin, where's the next step for
when
Umoja
is
Sounds?
it hot?
It sounds like it's going to be soon because it's going to be hot in just 3 months. So we've just started.
3 months. I'll come back when it's hot.
September.
I'll come back when it's
springtime is September.
Because I feel like I didn't have enough time in South.
Okay.
And we've discussed that with the team, and we're like, okay, we need to do another round, but this time we need to do it proper, like the way we do the other camps. This time we're just acquainting ourselves with the area. Just know, okay, this happens here, if this can happen, this can happen. So next time we're here, We just be picking up guys. We're like, yo, we're going up in the hill somewhere far, very far from somewhere you don't have to go home. So
away
that
from distractions and traffic.
we stay in one house. You wake up, you're thinking about music. That's the only thing you're thinking about.
Dope.
And we get a chef, and that's
not even think about food.
Yeah.
Do you now have a recipe for the kota?
Nah, man. I need to eat kota. I ate kota from Randburg, and I'm told that's some bougie kota. You know, I need to eat the real kota.
Randburg can't make kotas, guys. I don't know who's responsible. Cat, why did you take Kevin to Randburg?
It's Onka.
Onka. Onka dog.
Onka is taking me to malls in Rosberg. He's taking me to Sand.
Nah,
this guy is supposed to be taking me to Soweto.
Come on, dog. You know the best way to experience a city is go to the hood, and you go to the hood on foot. Not run back, not whatever. Yeah, walk the city, dog. You gotta walk it.
But I walked in the Bram.
Bram is still town, dog. Joburg is like a concrete jungle. It's not the real. But anyway, but it's got a taste of it. Look, it's got a taste of it. But Kevin, it's been dope, bro.
Thanks.
Thank you for the chat.
Nice meeting you,
ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Provoke, East Africa's finest. As always, I'm Landmark, and I'm out.